Ready to sink your talons into yet another unofficial Dawn of the Dead sequel? Well, you're in luck. Sort of. Welcome to Sick Flicks, where I take a deep dive into the cinematic sewer to help you embrace your inner gore geek. I'm Mike Bracken, aka The Horror Geek, and today we're celebrating the end of an era. That's right, we're covering the last of Italy's Dawn of the Dead ripoffs, Zombie 5, Killing Birds. Released in 1988, Zombie 5 is credited to Claudio Lattanzi, but rumors persist that Joe D'Amato actually shot most of it. How true that is, we may never know, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if D'Amato did direct. At any rate, this one has absolutely nothing to do with Dawn of the Dead or the other Italian zombie knockoffs besides sharing a name. Hell, even Killing Birds is mostly misleading. But enough about that. Can Zombie 5 close out the series of knockoffs by earning the coveted 5 barf bag rating? Let's get to the gore and find out. Oh, and before we get started, I'd like to tell you about today's sponsor, Shaker and Spoon. People often ask me how I manage to sit through so many terrible movies. And while I do really love all this stuff I cover, the real answer is booze. And lots of it. That's where Shaker and Spoon comes in. Each month, Shaker and Spoon ships a box of premium cocktail ingredients right to my front door. The box comes packed with 3 one-of-a-kind recipes created by world-class bartenders along with ingredients like syrups, bitters, aromatics, garnishes, and more to make up to 12 cocktails. You only need to add your favorite liquor. Honestly, it's like going to one of those fancy high-end bars. Only I don't have to put on pants or pay $25 per drink. Win-win. Since I knew we were doing an Italian horror movie this week, what better choice could I have made than the Negroni 2 box? The Negroni is a classic 3-ingredient cocktail created in Florence. Perfect for an Italian Morti Viventi movie. I'm not a bartender, but Shaker and Spoon takes the mystery out of mixology by providing you with all the ingredients you'll need in one box. You won't have to travel around town looking for all the various components to make these beverages. Shaker and Spoon provides everything you need. You just supply the alcohol. Once you're mixing drinks, you'll feel like Tom Cruise in Cocktail. It's fun to build your beverage with the detailed instructions in each kit. You won't have to guess if you're doing things the right way or worry that you've somehow screwed up the recipe. For a guy like me who could mess up a screwdriver, this is a godsend. For Zombie 5, I felt like Fruta e Fiore was the perfect accent to a Joe D'Amato film. I may not be able to say that drink's name, but I can certainly mix it now. And I was right. They came out perfectly and were delicious. Whether you're planning the perfect date night, hosting a party and want to impress your friends, or just looking for the perfect beverage to get you through some terrible movies, Shaker and Spoon has you covered. Want to try it out? Use my link in the description box below and my code HORRORGEEK to get $20 off your Shaker and Spoon subscription. Thanks again to Shaker and Spoon for sponsoring today's video. And now, let's get bloody. We fade in on some credits. Film Mirage presents. You know you're in for a treat when it's a movie Joe D'Amato's company produced. Killing Birds? It's not often your title is an action. It's also not often that your title is not the best known title either. I mean, unless it's an Italian movie, then all bets are off. Oh boy, Laura Wendell and Leslie Cummins. Guess our quota of actresses who were in Witchery and or Ghost House has already been met. I sure hope this movie brought some chili.
And another thing, keep yourself hot too.
With Robert Vaughn, he was fantastic in John Sturgis's Magnificent Seven back in 1960, but by 1988 he was making movies like this. Dude must have had some serious debts to pay off. And don't let the name Daniel Ross fool you. This was written by Daniele Stropa, who wrote the script for Witchery. This is like a Witchery reunion at this point. Man, I bet this truck is carrying a cargo of Killing Birds, or maybe 5 zombies. Directed by Claude Millican, who is just Claudio Lattanzi trying to convince you he's an American. The popular rumor here is that this is a lot like Deep Blood, meaning D'Amato directed most of it uncredited. So far, I'm not impressed with Claudio/Joe's directing. They've hired the shortest cinematographer ever.
Vaffanculo.
After some walking, we arrive at this dump. On today's episode of Fixer Upper. Also, I hope we're not going to film the whole movie in boot cam. Seriously, maybe Tarantino actually directed this movie. Someone was clearly obsessed with feet here. After greeting the birds, he whips out his package.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean, he has a present. But when he opens the door, it looks like there's a surprise already waiting. And he's gonna open it. I think this is all just basically a deleted scene from The Prowler. His ex wakes up a little later to find that her new man has gotten a very close shave. She's gonna drive on out of there, but if you guessed this car wasn't gonna start, give yourself a screenwriter's credit. With Private Myers closing in, she makes a run for it. And rather than, run for safety, she flees right back to the birdhouse. Nice move. Let's see if it pays off for her. Now she's cornered, and I feel like we're about to get the answer hinted at in that Maya Angelou poem. You really gotta wonder why he didn't just kill her in bed, too. We then get an awkward cut to a couple with their newborn heading to the birdhouse. I'm sure this is gonna go great. Awkward. They run back to the car, and the dad is ready to ride shotgun, but Soldier Boy already called it. Damn, he got edited to death. That leaves the mom and her baby to fend for themselves. But as soon as she stops to take a sweat break, Soldier Boy is on her. The military really turned this dude into a killing machine, that's for sure. Is the baby next? I mean, Joe D'Amato gave us Anthropophagus, so it's certainly feasible. Back at the house, Sergeant Slaughter is cleaning up his mess, but this bird is none too pleased. You could say this bird is pretty talented. And again, this is more like an angry bird than a killing bird. I feel like this title might have misled me. The authorities take Blind Fury to the hospital, and that's it. Pretty good movie, all things considered. I'm kidding. This is an Italian movie. We can expect at least 6 more plot lines to start any minute. Next, we jump to Loyola, where this guy gets his copy of the script. Not gonna lie, this is pretty long for a Stropa script. Those things are usually on post-it notes. He's clearly excited. I feel like we just wandered into a Mentos commercial. Man, listen to this smooth jazz soundtrack.
Hey, Paul.
This shit makes Kenny G sound like Cannibal Corpse. He tells his buddy that they better get packing for the research trip, but I can't help but notice how much he looks kinda like a wimpy version of Lost Boys era Jason Patrick. And high five. Mentos, the fresh maker. And here's Laura Wendell, getting hit on by her professor. Hey baby, why don't you come over for some chili later? The gist of all this jibber jabber is he wants her to go on the bird hunting expedition with the other 2 dorks. Man, bird hunting. The thrills never stop in Zombie 5.
Vaffanculo.
Next, our ornithologist heads over to recruit this chick. Hope he's not henpecked. And that's 4. We're building up a decent body count. Since we gotta fill 90 minutes somehow, here's a filler scene of our lead biking across campus. Back in the lab, we get some stick figure adult cinema on the computer. I wish I could show you this. It's like P-Hub Beta.
I just can't get it to look real.
Yeah, well, that's because they're stick figures, and it's a trash 80 desktop. Turns out our lead is recruiting Big Lot Steve Jobs to come on the trip too. This is just like Sam Jackson assembling the Avengers. Can we go back to our first movie, the one where Sergeant Slaughter was killing everyone? Please? And clearly these dorks never learned not to take a ride with a strange dude in a random van, but maybe he'll kill them all and we can wrap this up early.
Hi. Yeah, that'd be great.
Did he just say, hi, yeah, that'd be great, even though this dude didn't say a word? And now we're gonna watch them drive to the next shooting location in real time. Hooray for padding. Eventually, the mystery machine arrives at the home of the last person to see an ivory-billed woodpecker. And I'm hoping we get a big slice of Robert Vaughn soon. Yeah, sure, let's walk into this place uninvited. Maybe go through his drawers and refrigerator, too. Oh god, they're actually gonna do just that. Jesus Christ. I mean, looking good, Mr. Vaughn. Clearly, Napoleon Solo's last mission went all kinds of wrong. Do you kids even remember the man from U.N.C.L.E.? Christ, I'm old. Bob plays them some sweet outtakes from Metal Machine music while the movie just kind of pauses for a while. I mean, really, just take your time, movie. I got nothing better to do. Not gonna lie, this is all a lot of boring shit about finding a bird. When do the birds start killing, movie? When do I get zombies? We don't get zombies, but we do get a Shyamalan twist. The reporter notices a picture of the dead girl from the prologue in the drawer, and it turns out Bob is Sergeant Slaughter. He brutally executed 4 people and left a baby in the woods to fend for itself. How is he free? Doesn't matter, because eventually he gives them the map to One-Eye Willie's treasure.
This is fantastic.
And some parting words.
I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for.
You know what he's looking for, the ivory-billed woodpecker, dumbass. You just spent the last 5 minutes of screen time talking about it. Back outside, the reporter explains the giant plot hole about why he isn't rotting in prison. Turns out he hit all 4 of the bodies at some point before the bird pecked his eyes out. Yeah, sure, that seems plausible. But enough of that. Let's get back to the smooth jams and a montage. Here's some behind-the-scenes footage. Hey, Frank, you're supposed to boom mic the actors, not the river. I shit you not. This montage goes on for like at least 3 minutes. This is basically just Montage, the movie at this point. This finally ends as they get close to the house from the beginning, and I'm wondering if anyone noticed the lens was fogged up. I can't see shit. Is this Vaseline cam or what? Come on, Joe D'Amato.
Vaffanculo.
Well, at least all of that montage led to them finding the rusted out remains of Philippe Nahon's truck from High Tension. And a sweet jump scare. So basically, the movie has just totally given up on focus at this point. both narratively and visually. Eventually, they make their way to the Sawyer house. I mean, I wish this was the Sawyer house. Leatherface would liven this movie up at least. Well, someone is here anyway. I hope it's Dr. Freudstein, because we need to thin out this cast. And now the film is soft, out of focus, and grainy. Whoever's inside is like, fuck, here come some kids trying to sell me candy bars to fund their class's European bird-watching trip. Again. They're not taking no for an answer. Hey, we know you're in there. Just buy these knockoff Hershey bars and we'll go away. They head inside and man, this Airbnb looks nothing like it did in the photos online. This is what happens when you hire the Motel 6 people as property managers. Guess Motel 6 won't be sponsoring any episodes. And surprise, they're in Sergeant Slaughter's house. No, not the Nassau Coliseum, the murder house from the start of the movie. I bet even Ray Charles saw that twist coming. The rest of the cast wanders around the house to kill some more time, but things liven up when they find a hatch to the basement. If there's a Hills Have Eyes poster down there, I'm out. This is where they store the extra runtime padding. And an old generator. Will this pay off? Place your bets now. The reporter and not Jamie Gertz kill even more time downstairs, and we're treated to this jump scare. Honest to God, they should have called this movie Zombie 5, Killing Time. Steve Jarbs decides to grab a couple of minutes for his acting reel and he finds this self-rocking chair from Wayfair. Maybe they will sponsor an episode. And after that excitement, everyone sits down to kill some more time. I mean, I'm glad the movie's pacing itself. Slow and steady wins the race. Or something. Jesus Christ, check out that laptop. Meanwhile, Kmart Judge Reinhold wanders around the property looking for his friends, eating minutes of time in the process. What a pro. He meanders into this room and the sink nearby is filled with it levels of blood. Keep Beverly Marsh away from here. And hey, it's Robert Vaughn. Even he wants to get in on this padding fest. Big Lots Reinhold doesn't want anything to do with this plot development and he closes the shutters. He's blind. You don't actually have to get out of his line of sight. He has no line of sight. And now the Bird B&B is back. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he went through a wormhole back to the first act. We've even got a zombie nanny out here. Hey, only halfway through the movie to finally get a zombie in Zombie 5. Still 0 killing birds, but we've got 45 minutes to go. He flees and finds his Reporter X hanging around the rumpus room. Literally. But like Biggie said, it was all a dream. Or maybe a hallucination because everybody's fine. For now, at least. As night sets in and the cast decides to do more nothing, a POV cam approaches the house. Maybe it's delivering rewrites with actual action. Hell, I'd settle for a lens towelette to wipe off the Vaseline. All it finds is some hot napping. But I like that they chose this ominous music at least. Nothing is happening, but it feels like something might happen at some point. Downstairs, Phil Gates is certain his floppy into the hard drive.
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, you pervs. I mean a floppy disk into his laptop. Back upstairs, Mr. POV pulls out his blade and does a little carving. But don't worry, it's just football practice. But the horror isn't over because there's a dripping faucet and it's inside the house. A real terror of this movie so far is their next water bill. Back downstairs, this chick is checking out the bird cages again, but she's got company. Oh my god, it is Dr. Freudstein. She escapes into the next room, but it's too bad she locked herself in with a different zombie. That's just a comedy of errors. The zombie gives her some FaceTime with the nearest wall, and that's all she wrote for Birdwatcher number 4. She hasn't been drinking, but you could still say she's pretty smashed. And after that excitement, it's back to padding. Everyone's arguing about something. I don't even care anymore. The Scooby Gang decides to get this movie back on track by going to look for her. And think of how much padding this will add. After 5 full minutes of people walking around aimlessly, the van driver is getting the old hot foot from the leaky generator. Stop, drop, and die, Cletus. It's like NBA Jam in here because that dude is definitely on fire. He's on fire! With the search scene now nearing the 7-minute mark, they finally find Jennifer. D'Amato was probably hoping they could drag this out for the rest of the movie. They also find the van, but now they have to find the keys. So far we have not found the woodpecker or a single killing bird in this movie. But I do see they parked in the Cypress Hill section of the lot. While they're trying to hotwire the van, a zombie appears on the horizon. Don't worry, we'll pad this out for at least 10 minutes. A full minute later, the groupie gets nabbed from behind. Now who's gonna be hysterical? The van rolls forward, which is not good for her neck. This scene is a real stretch. Okay, time out. All that did was pull the latex down her neck. That is one cheap effect. The van won't start, so they head back to the house, but we'll get back to them shortly. Right now, it's Robert Vaughn time. Man, look at him. He sits still like a master, a cobra ready to strike. As he heads to the Academy to accept his Oscar for most sensitive portrayal of a blind person, his ticker starts giving him grief. That's how I sound after Taco Bell. Back in the haunted house, Jobs Jr. is starting his live stream. This is like an early version of Halloween Resurrection. You better hurry up. These old laptop batteries had about 30 minutes worth of juice. Speaking of juice, it looks like the generator just ran out of gas. Steve hops off IRC's so that he can head down and investigate. Turns out it's in the Blair Witch's place. Upstairs, Judge and a reporter make like Ben and Barbara and barricade the doors. Tomato's already in the house. It's too late. I guess this is what passes for Zombie 5's rousing climax. Thrill as this dude fills a generator with gas without spilling any. Unfortunately, Amazon Basics Steve Jobs missed OSHA training and he gets his Flavor Flav starter kit caught in the machinery. That really grinds my gears. And his pal just watches. Christ, turn it off, you wimp. He eventually snaps out of his panic and checks on Steve, but Steve's logged off. Great, now we'll never get iPhones. Upstairs, I can't believe it's not Judge Reinhold runs to the fireplace and finds a shotgun. Fantastic. Maybe he can put the movie out of its misery. But before he can put Zombie 5 down like Old Yeller, this school does his best Kool-Aid Man impression. Oh yeah. This guy's 0 for 2 on saving people. He's maybe the most ineffective character since that cop in Edge of the Axe. Judge Jr. isn't nearly as worthless, especially now that he's strapped. He saves the girl, but the zombie tries to take his gun. You'll take my shoddy when you pry it from my cold dead hands. They manage to escape, and Judge has the perfect idea on where to go. Yeah, the attic. Fantastic idea. I mean, what could go wrong? The undead start beating on the hatch like it owes them money, and it's only a matter of time before it gets crowded up there. After about a minute of solid pounding...
Hell yeah.
No, not like that, Danny. After a minute of pounding, the beating quiets down, but it's all a ploy. Look out, Members Mark Jason Patrick. It's fitting that he dies by basically having his head ripped off since the dude was pretty spineless. As the sun rises over the Louisiana bayou, we're left to ask, did the two losers in the attic die of fright? Miraculously, no. They gird their loins and head for the hatch, and under D'Amato's orders, they wait. And they wait. And then they wait some more. 3 months later, they open the trapdoor and head downstairs. Once they're down in the main room of the house, they're greeted with some tapping on the windows. Are we finally getting killing birds? Nope, it's Robert Vaughn. He lets them know that they're going to be A-okay now that they got rid of the bozos that came along. He also drops the bomb that our hero is the kid that he spared in the prologue. Even Jeff Healey saw that twist a mile away. Then we get some more exposition.
It's me they want.
The zombies want Vaughn. Everyone else will be safe as long as they're not afraid. It certainly would have been nice to know this an hour ago. No matter though, Robert's gonna sacrifice himself so that his son and his ex can go free. I'll take whatever gets us to the credits at this point. They flee and the birds kill Robert Vaughn off screen? Yeah, let's roll with that. Guess Vaughn was too busy to stay for an extra day, so no on-camera death for him. And then we get the time-honored Italian horror film tradition, the freeze-frame ending. Hey, wait, what the fuck happened with the zombies? What about the ivory-billed woodpecker? Damn you, Joe D'Amato / Claudio Latanzi. So, what have we learned from Zombie 5 killing birds? Not much. I mean, we already knew D'Amato could pad a runtime like the shoulders of an 80s suit jacket. And I still don't know if the title means zombies killing birds who are zombies, or zombies and killing birds. This one's a real enigma. You could say they were winging it. But enough about that. Can Zombie 5 offer up enough splatter to fill 5 barf bags? Not on your life. But let's go to the gore card. In terms of gross anatomy, Killing Birds has its wings clipped. We're treated to multiple neck slashings, an eye pecking, 1 flaming yokel, the opening murder spree, and 1 bashed in head. Personally, I expected more. As such, I can only award Zombie 5 a 2 barf bag rating. This isn't nearly as sick as you'd expect a D'Amato joint to be. Looking for more Italian zombie action? Then be sure to check out my review of Zombie 4. You'll find a link here on the screen. I'll meet you over there. Until next time, I'm Mike Bracken, aka The Horror Geek, bringing you all the splatter that matters.